Alright boys, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. We are here this time with episode 46 of our Winnipeg Jets franchise mode. And if you missed out on the last one, unfortunately, it was a huge disappointment. We fell in the first round to the Colorado Avalanche. Luckily, they did make it to the Stanley Cup Final, so it makes our loss a little less bitter, but we still have work to do over the offseason. Now, we won the Cup 2 years ago and 4 years ago now, so if we win the Cup in this upcoming season, that will cement us as a dynasty, but we have a couple of moves to do in order to get there. So first up, we're going to look at some comments. It got a little bit, I don't think it got heated, but definitely a disagreement in the comments between myself and Alex, but that's why I love this channel. You know, we can freely discuss our opinions, and you know, we're not digging at each other. We're just trying to find the best way to make this team succeed. So Alex says, thank you for the episode, but damn, why would we pick up an upgrade on defense for the playoffs and keep said player scratched for the remainder of the season and the playoffs, including game 7? So I don't really have a good comeback for that one. Honestly, I kind of forgot about Owen Pickering, right? That's who we picked up, Owen Pickering. I kind of forgot about him. I was just in the heat of the moment trying to make some line changes, so that one's on me. That one's my bad. But at the same time, our third pair, which is really the only place I would feel remotely confident putting Owen Pickering in, who didn't play barely any games with our actual team, wouldn't have had chemistry with Stefan Kreitzer or anything like that. So in my opinion, didn't really make sense. But also our third line, blue line, were the only plus players in the entire playoffs on our blue line. So doesn't really make sense to me why we would make a change there when they were the only people who were a positive. Alex continues, why wouldn't we start the best lineup in the postseason like we have every single time we won? And that is true, but that could just be superstition. Just why? The first round was always going to be close, and the one advantage we could have had over that team is defense if we short up the bottom pair and put Pickering in. Again, I think the bottom pair was just fine. They were the only plus, and that's really the only metric we have to discuss defense in this game. 278 overalls on the third pair with Jones defending and killing penalties at 5'10" was never going to lead anywhere. I think that's maybe a little bit of a harsh criticism. We got 53 wins. We made it to 7 games against the team that lost in the Stanley Cup Finals. I don't really think we can say we can't go anywhere. But I understand that he is not happy with the Zach Jones thing, so that's okay. There are no minuses for defensive players on the PK, so that third pairing would have been getting eviscerated when we allowed 5 power play goals in the first 2 games. We definitely allowed a lot of power play goals in the first 2 games, but you could say the same thing. You could say that it was just because of our forwards, considering the fact that the only changes I made to the penalty kill were in the forward department. So if anything, I feel like you should probably be getting a little bit more mad at the fact that I didn't change the forwards for the first 2 games of the PK, not the defense, because after those first 2 games, we shut it down on the penalty kill. And that is still with Zach Jones and Stefan Kreitzer as our third unit penalty killers. And then this criticism, definitely fair here. The PK stabilized once Svensson was put on PK1, but then why wasn't he there all year when that's successfully been his role throughout his tenure in Winnipeg? Adding to that, why must we force Eklund on the PK over and over again when the team stats went down the drain in the department the second he was added to the rotation 3 years ago? Let's allow him to be an offensive player and let others take care of the PK. So I think that is what we're going to do going forward. Although Eklund has 5-star defense, you would think he would be a help to the penalty kill, but clearly he has shown his incapabilities on the defensive side of the puck. So from now on, definitely we'll be keeping him off the penalty kill, at least to start. If things go wrong, maybe we can throw him on and see if it changes it up. But yeah, 2 games, we had a bad penalty kill. I don't think our penalty kill was the reason we lost. I mean, it was the reason we lost 2 of those games, or 1 of those games at least. But I don't think it's the reason we lost the series. I don't think our third pair defensively is the reason we lost the series either. I just think we didn't have it this year. We came up against a really hot Colorado team who made a super deep run. They made a Cinderella run, and sometimes you just lose in the playoffs, man. That's playoff hockey. So that's Alex's first comment, but he has a couple of other comments that I agree wholeheartedly with. One of them is going to be a very tough decision. We are moving a superstar in this draft, and it's a decision between Matt Svensson and Sam Kennedy. So Alex basically says Kennedy has to go. Overall, his performance in Winnipeg has been fairly disappointing relative to his overall rating and the opportunities he has been given. His career high with us is pretty much the same thing as what Melvin Barker did on the first line, and Melvin Barker is a much lesser of a player. Kennedy has, okay hands, but amazing everything else, which might be limiting his offensive factor. And he's a right winger only, and for years we've catered to that. and decided to not put Matt Svensson, who is our actual best right winger perhaps, on his offside, and so Svensson has been playing left wing when he is a natural right winger. Then we see that Elliot Patrick has pretty consistently been the better goal scorer, and Patrick has really filled in the role that we thought was for Kennedy, as Elliot Patrick is really filling in that second line center position, really being the anchor on that second line. We thought that was going to be Kennedy's position because we had Melvin Barker up on the first line with Cole Perfetti and Matt Svensson, so we thought that might be the first line of the future. Then we pick up Sam Kennedy to play second line time. He was originally supposed to be a centerman for us, but when we put him at center, he was god awful, so he really couldn't do anything in the center position, so we had to make some changes around that, and we moved him to the right wing on the third line. Then we brought him up to the first line to see what he can do, and him playing with Matt Svensson was good, but it meant that Matt Svensson couldn't play on his normal side, his right side. So we've made some decisions to put Sam Kennedy in his best position to thrive, but even still, barely was he even a point per game player this year? I don't even know. But Elliot Patrick leading our team, right? The guy who was basically supposed to play in the same position. Yeah, Sam Kennedy only 73 points, playing first line time, only 29 goals. I just think maybe it's not working out for him, and Alex agrees with me, and I think we're going to be making a move in this offseason at the draft to move up for a pick, a very, very heavy pick. Now, there's a couple of things that we can do. Now, if we are going to be getting rid of Sam Kennedy, we want to get a centerman most likely, and so that would be Dane Matheson. He's got X factors. He at least has It's Tricky. He is a power forward with A+ shooting, so hopefully he can be, somebody similar to Elliot Patrick, or maybe be what Sam Kennedy was supposed to be for us. He was in an A- league, he had 9 goals and 9 assists. I mean, I hope he's around an 80 overall, something like that, but of the future, I'm thinking that he can be a great piece. If we can't get him, we could still look at a guy like Blomqvist, who is going to be a better overall. If Matheson isn't there, Blomqvist might be, who will be a better overall. Still NHL ready with X factors as well, so that guy could be there, and maybe he'll have decent faceoffs. Sometimes these top picks have good faceoffs anyways. Jason Bannister is also up here, right? So there's a couple of picks we can make. I mean, Dane Matheson might be the worst overall out of the bunch, but he has the best organizational fit for us. So that really goes into Alex's next comment here, where he gives us some trade suggestions for the offseason. So number one, we got to right our wrong and move Pittsburgh's number 5 pick to them for a first round pick next year. So hopefully they will accept that trade. And then number 2, trading Sam Kennedy and George Lowe, who's a prospect, to Tampa Bay for the 4th round pick. Tampa's a team that really needs some offensive depth, so giving them a guy like Sam Kennedy, who is ready right now and still very, very young, will help them. And then also a prospect in George Lowe, who probably won't be making our team because he has bad faceoffs as a centerman, but he has amazing hand stats. This guy has 5-star hands at like 76 overall or 75 overall or something like that, so he could be a fantastic player. But for us, we already have guys like that. We have the Eric Dowds and the Matt Svenssons of the world with great hands, but not like finishers. So what we need is really guys who can put that puck in the back of the net. His third suggestion is getting Stefan Backlund out of here and Zarenko for a goalie. Basically just a guy similar to Jesper Wallstedt a couple of years ago, who can really fill in, be a veteran presence, and just keep that puck out of the net, because Zarenko was horrible this playoffs. We need a reliable goalie. And then number 4, maybe drafting Darren Gomez with our pick, signing or extending Rocky Bomek to 1 year, and then working out an extension with him for the rest of the season. So looking at this, we're going to re-sign Rocky Bomek to 1 year, $2.95 million. It'll keep him as an RFA, so we don't have to worry about his contract too much, although we will be looking at what he wants over the course of the season to make sure that we can try to get him at somewhat of a discount. Then we're going to also re-sign Pinto, who is our 3rd line lockdown center, and also Wyatt Johnston, probably for 1 or 2 years each. And the rest of these guys can wait, but they can all wait until we finish the draft. So let's get started on the draft. I've been talking now for about 12 minutes or so, probably cut it down to maybe about 5 minutes or so with you guys, but let's see what we have to say. So the first pick wants to be traded. The 4th pick does not want to be traded. Tampa does not want to trade their 4th round, or their fourth overall pick, excuse me, but I think we can give it to them anyway. So let's see what they have to say. All right, boys, so let's see what we have to say. With this trade, we're also freeing up $12.5 million of cap space that we had with Sam Kennedy. This guy was a plus 42. He's an amazing player, a 70-point guy, pretty reliably. And Tampa is a team that really needs some forward help. You know, they have Pessin in here, and then after that, really nothing too much. Seth Jarvis, Jake Neighbors, Callahan, a young kid, Junior Callahan, I'm pretty sure, who got drafted last year, right? So he'll join the team this year. Yeah, Junior Callahan. And then some other players, but nothing too crazy. So Sam Kennedy immediately slots in as their second best forward. And then George Lowe becomes a great prospect for them. A low elite guy, 21 years old, 76 overall. And look at his puck skills. Look at his hands. This guy has 93 deking, 96 passing. He's a decent defense as well for a guy who's 5'11 center. A bit of a smaller center, but he can really learn from Sam Kennedy, who can play center a little bit. He can win some faceoffs anyways. Can't really play the position that well. But also a guy like Pessinen, who is a young guy. These guys are just getting young, and they're getting a great piece, two great pieces, I would say, in Sam Kennedy and George Lowe. They are giving up a 4th overall pick, but I think the deal is pretty fair here. So what do you say, Tampa Bay? Will you accept the deal? They accept it. We consider it a done deal. Thank you very much, Tampa. And now Minnesota with their 1st overall pick. Who are they going to be taking? It's 83 overall. Lorenzo Haydar with 5-star shooting, power forward, 4-star skating. Good for you. Yeah, so I think these two guys, the Seattle and the Edmonton pick, are both going to be a little bit better than the guy who we are going to be taking, who is Dane Matheson. But I think it's kind of a necessary evil. Dane fits our team a little bit better, and he fits the positions that we need. But before we do that, let's go to Pittsburgh, because their protection has kicked in for this draft. They got a top 5 pick, or they traded away their top 5 pick last year, but it was top 10 protected, so they are going to hold on to the pick, and it's going to be traded out for next year's pick instead. What do you say, Pittsburgh? Accepted. We'll see you out on the ice. And as I'm sitting here, I did give my a little bit of a goodbye to Sam Kennedy, but let's just go over his accolades here with us. Sam Kennedy, he had a crazy couple of years with us. You know, he won a cup in 2031 and 2033. His highest scoring was 90 points on that first line of, I think it was Cole Perfetti, Matt Svensson, and Sam Kennedy. But after that, he's kind of fallen around 70-ish points, 52 in his first season here. But we really dragged him out of Buffalo. We got him out of a horrible situation. He scored 36 goals, so maybe he can find that goal scoring on Tampa, where he's going to be more of the number 1 option, or maybe number 2. But what's Pessin? Pessinen is he a playmaker? No, he's a sniper as well. Okay, so maybe he'll be the number 2 option, but I still think maybe not having so much weight on his shoulders, maybe that can help him out a little bit, because he was really under the microscope here in Winnipeg. But Tampa, they're not a very good team, so hopefully them having Sam Kennedy will help them out. Kennedy's still only 26 years old. He still is not even in his prime yet, so hopefully he can help them quite a bit. We wish him all the best. He's also in the East, so hopefully we won't have to see him too much here. Now, Seattle, who are they going to take with the 2nd overall pick? Jason Bannister, power forward, 5-star shooting. Great, yeah, all these guys going to have 5-star shooting. Then Edmonton, please don't take Matheson. They take Blomqvist, Tumo Blomqvist, 5-star shooting, 4-star skating. So now it's our pick. And for the 2nd time in this entire series, we get the chance to pick in the top 5. The first one, Liam Carlson, he got sent out a couple of years later. I think it was only 1 year later. We sent him away for Corbin Mills, who has turned out to be a gem. Corbin Mills, a great player. But Liam Carlson has also turned his career around over in Buffalo. So, you know, maybe Dane Matheson can stick on the team for a little bit longer. I would love to see it. He's got 5-star shooting, hopefully. But let's see. With the 4th overall pick in the NHL draft, the Winnipeg Jets are proud to select from the DEL, Dane Matheson. You are 78 overall. Okay, that could be a 3rd liner for us. He's listed as a depth forward. He could be a 3rd line player for us this year. Only 4.5-star shooting. A little disappointing with that. I was hoping it was going to be 5, but I knew he was going to be the worst overall of the bunch. But 78 overall, still more than fine. His medium elite potential, he will jump up. Not for this season, because there's no growth that happens in the off season when you when you first draft somebody. But you know, at the start of when we get into a couple of games, he might grow his overall quite quickly. And who will Pittsburgh pick up for their 5th overall pick? It is the 78 overall defenseman Valeri Tutin. 3.5-star defense, 3.5-star skating. Everything else is a little bit weak there. 3-star physical, which is good. Hard shot, but not an offensive guy. Defensive defenseman. Hopefully he can help them as well. All right, guys, here's the trade I'm thinking of for Spencer Knight. So Spencer Knight, an 89 overall goalie, 905 save percentage, 2.97 goals against average. He's been pretty much in the 900s for the past 3 years. What have his playoff stats looked like? Okay, a little rough here in the playoff department, not going to lie. That's pretty terrifying. He has not had a single season where he's above 900 except for 25-26. But look at this, in 2024-25, he had a 920 save percentage, 2.69 goals against average, but before that, it's looking a little rough. But hopefully, maybe he can turn that around with us. That's kind of scary. But we're going to give them Zarenko, our goalie. Stefan Backlund, who amazing shooter. Look at that shooting category. But everything else hasn't really been great. He was delegated to the third line, supposed to be a second liner for us. Then also Jordan Clements, a two-way forward, a medium top four player. He's only 18 years old, so he can definitely grow. And a fourth round pick. What do you say? Rejected? Wow, you're woefully insufficient. Okay. So what do you say to a third round pick instead of a fourth round pick now? What do you say to this? Rejected isn't where it needs to be at all compared to what we're being asked to give up. Wow. Okay, we'll do a second next year, but that might be my final offer, to be honest, because I'm not really willing to give up more than this. This is kind of crazy already. Zarenko, Backlund, we're freeing up $10 million, bringing in 7, so we're freeing up basically $3 million. Clements and a second. What do you say? Rejected. Woefully insufficient. What the heck is going on? All right, let's see what Vegas has to say. So Askarov, he's making a little bit more money, but we're still freeing up $2 million. Askarov is an 86 overall goalie, and he usually has pretty good numbers, over 900 save percentage for the past 3 years. After that, 890, 3.56. It was a rough year with Vegas, but he only played 29 games, so since then he's been pretty solid with over 900 save percentage pretty much every year. So let's see if Askarov can maybe be a little bit better. 32 years old, so a year younger than Spencer Knight. But yeah, they just did not want to make that deal, Florida. But Askarov is still pretty good. He's making $8 million, but we're still freeing up $2.5 million or so. So let's see what Vegas has to say to this. We're going to give them Clements, Zarenko, and Backlund, but no pick. I think that makes a little more sense. Askarov is a little bit worse than Knight, so let's hope that they say yes to it, and they will. Trade accepted. We'll see you out on the ice. There we go. So we pick up Yaroslav Askarov from the Vegas Golden Knights. We say goodbye to Stefan Backlund, who could have been a great goal scorer, but he didn't really shoot the puck that much, and he only had like 25 or so goals, I think, 23 goals, something like that. So wasn't the biggest asset for us. All right, so now let's simulate to pick number 27 here, and we are going to easily know who we are taking. There's really only one choice from the USA West. He's 6 foot tall, could be a two-way forward, but he's listed as NHL ready. Darren Gomez, he can play the left and the right-hand side, 18 years old. Welcome to the Winnipeg Jets organization. You are 76 overall. Let's take a look at his stats. He is a two-way forward, good skater, thank God. Good defense, pretty base everywhere. That's the type of prospect I like to see. None of this weird 5-star puck skills, 1-star skating nonsense that happens sometimes. Okay, guys, I don't know if this is cheese, but I need to move up to pick like in the 60s somewhere, in the early 60s. So I'm going to send Ottawa 3 picks, 4, 5, 6, and Pickering and Jones. Now, I know I'm moving up to the second round, so they might not want to take a 4th, 5th, and a 6th for a second round pick, but I'm also giving them 2 roster players. Zach Jones just had a pretty good season, plus 23, 15 points in 82 games. I mean, it's not bad whatsoever. Pickering is a guy, a big boy, plus 4. He played how many games did he didn't play any games with us, I guess. Yeah, but with Vegas, I mean, 7 points in 64 games is okay as well. Do they need defense, really? This might be a bit of a reach. They do kind of need defense, so I mean, I could see them. They need defense. We're giving them 3 picks as well. Might be a little bit cheese, but I can also go back and send them a prospect or something like that if you think this is a little bit too cheese. So what do you say, Ottawa? They accept it. It's a no-brainer. Yeah, I don't think it's that much of a no-brainer, but I'll take the deal anyways. And then at this pick, number 64 here, we are going to be selecting, let me just pull them up real quick, from Belarus, right? Yeah, from Belarus, Alexei Vishnevsky, 5'11", medium elite, two-way forward who is 5 years away from being ready. What's the overall on him? Hang on one quick second here. You are 58 overall, medium elite. That's actually a pretty good overall, so I will gladly take that. And while we're here, let's just take a look at the end of the first round, because I didn't actually look at guys who went medium elites, medium top 6 defensemen, okay, and then at the start of the second round, a goalie goes. Any really high overalls or medium elite type players? I'm not seeing anything crazy. Okay, this low elite goes to Buffalo, so Buffalo getting a bit more prospects in the system. Good for them. Another low elite here to Nashville. Fair enough. And then we get Wisniewski. And really, there's not much else that I like in this draft, so let's just simulate to our next pick. Pick number 219. I didn't really see anything great. I kind of was bad with my scouting this year. I didn't do it right. I missed out on a couple of steps, which is unfortunate, but we do still get Jesus Parker. I mean, come on, look at that name. He's a low elite, still 5 years away from the NHL. Probably, here's my guess, 50 overall. Jesus Parker, 48 overall, sniper. What do your categories look like? Yeah, they're all awful, but 1-star shooting, we'll take that for now. And then the last pick is pick 221. Not much to do in this draft. I didn't really love anything that I was seeing. So what do we see? Do we have anybody crazy? No. Why don't we just take an absolute freak, huh? Let's just take the most weight or the tallest? What do we think? No, we want weight out there. We want somebody throwing their body. Although this guy is also a very tall guy. Medium 70. You can go into the reserves, bro. Murray Little. He's 6'6", 234 pounds, and his name is Little. I mean, you can't write this stuff, right? Murray Little, 6'6", 53 overall, enforcer, medium 7th D. Welcome to the team. 2-star physical already at 53 overall. That's beautiful. That's going to do it for our draft. Really not too much on the drafting front, although we do pick up Dane Matheson and Darren Gomez and Alexei Vishnevsky, so 3 pretty good prospects right there. And then Jesus Parker, also low elite, but he's going to take a while to get ready. And then, of course, the giant Murray Little. So that's good. Not much to do in the re-sign phase either. Seems like we do have a couple of coaches. Crosby's contract is up, so let me deal with that. And it was an easy decision for Rocky Bomek to re-sign that contract, so thank you very much, Rocky. We love to see that. Okay, and Sid's actually up to an A- forward coach now. He actually wants to be a head coach, so maybe we put him as the head coach for now. I'll like move the coaches around to make him so that he's able to sign $2.6 million for the next 4 years. I'll demote Eddie, who has been our head coach for quite some time, to interim NHL coach. That way Crosby is able to sign. You have to play musical chairs with these coaches. It's ridiculous. And then I'll sign the rest of these guys in free agency here with all the coaches. Now, looking at some contracts, we have a couple of contracts that we have to sign. First up, let's get Boris Nikulin on board. He's going to start his NHL career with us, so sign your ELC, have a blast. And we also have $20 million after freeing up cap space from Sam Kennedy and Stefan Backlund and Vadim Zarenka. We do have cap space to work with. So I'm thinking 1-year deals for Shane Pinto from now on. Let's see, 1 year, 2.65 mil. What do you say to that, Shane? We also, Wade Stanton, I would love to get him back on board. He had a great season, 51-point season, playing third line time. So if you can recreate that would be nice. 1 year, you want 4.725. Okay, I think that's pretty reasonable for 1 year. I don't want to sign him 3 years, 5 mil. Seems a little crazy for a third liner, but maybe 1 year, 4.65, 4.550. What do you say? 1 year, 4.550. What do you say, Wade? And then Wyatt Johnston here, 1 year. Okay, great. He wants a bit of a discount as well. 1 year, $2.25 million. And we still have a bunch of money that we can spend in free agency if there's a big fish out there. Okay, also getting his ELC is Nico Tukio. He's a playmaker, 4-star puck skills, 3.5-star defense, bad skater, but everything else looks pretty solid, actually. He's going to be a first-line AHL player for us, unless he grows to like 80 overall or something over the offseason, but as of right now, he's looking to be a first-line AHL player. Alexei Kinnis is in here. We will have to qualify him because he wants a one-way deal, so we'll just qualify him and sign him in the offseason. Chubarov is another low-elite player, left defenseman, defensive defenseman, not really getting that much growth, but defensive defensemen rarely do. We'll sign him on board. And then Brendan Donnelly, a playmaker, 84 passing, okay, fair enough. Center, 67 overall is not fantastic, but we'll sign him on board. And same thing with with Marcus Fleischmann down here, offensive defenseman this time, so hopefully he can get a couple of points in the AHL, all signed to their ELCs. In goal now, we do have Seelovs, who still needs a contract, but look at this. 3 years at $6.65 million. I do not think so. I think I would much rather just bring on board Gunderson. Bring Gunderson back from the AHL. Where is he? If we take a look at the system, or I guess we can look at the main roster, we can go with Askarov and then Gunderson, and then we can go with, in the AHL, we can go with Riley and Canzanello, and leave these two guys out of it. Although Milic can get signed on as our 5th goalie, no harm, no foul. But Artur Shalevs, I cannot pay you that much money, my friend. You're getting released to free agency. And then Clifford Riley, he wants a real contract. Don't worry, we'll just qualify him and sign him to a two-way deal later on. So I think that's everybody there. Let's just check the all expiring list. Yeah, so everybody got a contract offer. Let's see what they say now. Wyatt Johnston a bit too low. Pinto's on board. Easy decision. Thank you. Okay, there's a couple of guys who don't want their two-way deals. Nico Tukio is on board. Beautiful. Caden Bankier, Brendan Donnelly, Thomas Milic is back. Fabian Wagner is back. Martin Cowd is back. Wade Stanton is back. Okay, so that 1 year, $4.55 million was good enough. Marcus Fleischmann, Boris Nikulin probably will be playing NHL time this year, so get ready for that. So the only guy who didn't sign really is Wyatt Johnston, because he wants 3 years and we gave him 1, huh? So we'll give you 1 year, $2.4 million there. We'll still have $12.5 million or so to spend, so that's still good enough for me. And then we'll get Hayes out of here, and this other guy out of there as well. Goalies, we've qualified everybody, so all good. What do you say, Wyatt? Are you going to sign on board for 1 year, $2.4 million? Or are you going to make me chase me a little more? Sidney Crosby is on board as our head coach, but I'll drop him back to assistant. Okay, Wyatt Johnston still not happy with it. Is it because the ice time you've been getting? All right, 1 year, $2.6 million. Just sign on board. We'll still have $12 million to deal with, so it's all good. Wyatt, come on, buddy. There we go. Easy decision to agree to this contract. Thank you very much. I love these two as our third and fourth line center, both Wyatt Johnston and Shane Pinto. They always do a great job for us. So let's play the counting game now, boys. We have Eklund, Patrick, Svensson. That's one line. We have Dowd, Quenneville, and probably Meach in the system. Brian Meach, I think his name is. He will probably be coming up. Brendan Meach, sorry. Brendan Meach probably will be coming up. Should I sign him right now? I think so, because I think he's going to have a spot. Also, Dane Matheson might be coming up as well. Maybe I should sign both of these guys to their contracts. Dane Matheson can play in the AHL anyways, and so can Brendan Meach. So I'll sign both these guys to contracts. Because I think they might both be playing in the NHL. If not, Dane Matheson can light up the AHL for a year, play first line time, first line center, all this stuff, get like 70 points in the AHL. So I think it's fine either way. We'll sign both of them to their contracts. So I think Meach might be second line center or third line center, depending on where we want to put him. So that leaves Eric Dowd is number... Sorry, so let's go back. So here we go. Eklund, Patrick, Svensson, that's line 1. Then Dowd, Quenneville, and Meach is line 2. Pinto, Bomick, and Stanton can be line 3, sure. And then Johnston, Stoll, and either maybe Dane Matheson, but Matheson can also play up in the lineup, of course, or we pick somebody up in free agency. That's what our forwards look like. So looking pretty good. We could use a second line center. Maybe I could pick up a second line center in free agency if they're there, because we do have the money for it now. And then defensemen, we're looking at Stempniak and Mills, Hoffman and Power, and then Stefan Kreitzer and Boris Nikulin, with maybe a depth guy in free agency or something like that. And then goalies, we are going to have Askarov and Gunderson, and then Riley and Canzanello in the AHL. So our team is full, boys. We are totally full. Maybe just a depth guy here or there. I could also pick up a second line center. That's really the only thing I'm looking for in free agency. So let's see what is available. First of all, though, Brendan Meach is signing on board with his ELC, and same thing with Dane Matheson. Thank you, boys, so much. The AHL associate coach, whatever. I thought I renewed all the scouts, but I guess I'm just a fool as always. Couple of extra players under contracts it seems like we need. But first of all, let's take a look at free agency. Let's just look at the UFAs to start. And who is here? Vesa Allen is a UFA. Joel Shepard wants $12.6 million. See, this is why you got to save money. If you're going to sign big-time free agents, you got to save your money. Here's Mettinen, a UFA. Julius Mettinen, 28 years old, power forward. 79 face-offs, but 5-star defense. Not a great shooter, which is interesting. Usually they're amazing shooters. He was also drafted 31st overall, so he wasn't like first overall pick. Cool, that's kind of cool. Usually they're all first round picks, but what are you gonna do about that? So Lucas Reichel, Hanzik, TJ Ginla is here. Maybe didn't he just win a cup in Ottawa? Was he in Ottawa? No, he wasn't. He was in New Jersey. Okay, weird. I don't really see anything too crazy in free agency that I'm dying to go after. And what about in RFAs? Again, nothing. I don't really. I don't really see that much that I'm loving. Blake Von Arx is here from Arizona. Pete Lombardi. Isn't that literally... Wait. What's the Lombardi... Who's the Lombardi trophy named after? Hang on. Okay, so it's named after Vince Lombardi, who was the Green Bay Packers head coach, but Vince Lombardi, great grandson or something like that, is now in the NHL. That's kind of funny. Okay, Reeves, Pollock, Dodge. This guy Dodge, medium top six forward though. Nah, not what we're looking for in a second line center, especially because he's a two-way forward. Yeah, I don't know. I guess we could just stick with Meach. Look for a in the development, somebody in our system already. Look for somebody to come up, because honestly, not really looking at anything too crazy. What we want Kirby Dach. He's a playmaker. He could be fine, but do we really want to pay him $8 million for the next 4 years? We could go 1 year, $7 million, but no, I don't really love it. Yeah, I'm not really loving what I'm seeing here from anybody, to be honest. Vesa Allen. Obviously quite tempting. Playmaker, 97 passing. Like, just think about having Eklund, Svensson, and I don't know, Dowd or something on the first line, and then having Elliot Patrick with Vesa Allen on the second line, and Quenneville as like a playmaker sniper combination. Then the third line could be whatever, it could get interesting with stuff like that. What about goalies? Is there like knockout goalies in here? Oh my, is he a UFA? Dude. Okay, so funny story, I was actually looking at trading for Keith Knolchuk, but I was thinking, Minnesota, they're probably going to want to try to keep him. He's medium elite still, 26 years old. Like, I was thinking about trading for this guy, but I thought Minnesota was going to re-sign him, so I didn't. Looking back, this definitely should have been the guy that I tried to pick up, because he is a 87 overall. I could have signed him for 7.8 million. That would have saved me money. I wouldn't have had to pay the $8 million that what's his name is making, that Askarov is making. So we could have a huge goalie system. We could go 1 year, 8 mil. We could have two goalies making $16 million. But then where does Torsten Gunderson play, right? We still have a bunch of goalies in the system. Also, Scott Carter is here. He's only an 85 overall, but I'm pretty sure he just won the Vezina, so he wants big time money. Did he just? Yeah, no, maybe he didn't. Who won the Vezina this year? Did Scott Carter win the Vezina last year? Is what I'm thinking of. Yeah, it must be. But I don't know. I don't remember who won the Vezina in this most recent year. So either way, who else do we have? We have Spooner, who's a medium elite goalie, but listed as a backup. Yeah, not great overall. All right. I don't know what to do here, boys. Do I just stand pat and let the team rock how it is for now? On defense, we do have a low franchise defenseman. Oh my goodness, low franchise Cesar Grenier, defensive defenseman. I'm not in love with his numbers, to be honest. And he was a minus player. Okay, never mind. I just saw franchise and got a little excited, but he doesn't seem like that crazy of a goalie. We just love Zach Werenski in the league. We could bring him back. But again, we don't really need it. The only thing I'd be looking at is like a 78, 79 overall guy who basically wants league minimum, who wants a two-way type deal. But all these guys want so much money for some reason. So the first guy who kind of wants a discount, we could go with Owen Pickering, but we could also, who I guess did not sign in Ottawa, so that trade's looking a little bit worse every time that I think about it now. We could go with Petteri Nurmi, good defensive awareness, fine offensive awareness, 78 overall. Bad shooter, but that's fine. We don't really need him to shoot. This would just be an injury replacement, so he would be in the AHL, but he would just be an injury replacement. We could also go with this guy here, Vladislav Kolyachonok, I don't know, defensive defenseman. He would want less money, but again, I don't know that I want to make these changes, I just keep thinking back to a couple of episodes ago where I signed like 3 third-line players, and then it ended up we had to trade some of them, but I didn't want to fleece it and just get these guys to trade them because I signed too many people because I wasn't counting right. We have a team. We have 12 forwards. We have 6 defensemen. I could go out and get a two-way a guy who wants a two-way contract as a defenseman, but look at these guys. 77 overall, not really what I'm looking for. 1 year, 77 overall. Komarov, ancestor of Blake Komarov, perhaps. I don't know. It's not really anything. The things here are not really appealing to me that much. So I'm not entirely sure what to do. On the center front, we could always go after a center, but really these guys' contracts are looking pretty crazy, and they also all have teams interested in them. The first guy who doesn't is Kirby Doc, who's an 86 overall at $8 million as a 33-year-old. I'd rather just wait for the in-house project to come up. Dylan Strome, sure, but now you're an 84 overall, and you're not really going to help us out that much more than other guys on the team anyways. So maybe we bring back Gabriel Velarde. That could be fun. But again, we already have 12 guys, you know? These names are tempting up here. These medium elite tags, right? This guy, he's an RFA. Cam Arson, he's an RFA. They probably are going to match anything, so let's not even worry about him. Let's just go to UFAs for now. Right, Mettinen, $11 million for 4 years, which would be worth it probably. Julius Mettinen, but I don't know, man. He has his 4 teams interested. We'd have to give him probably 11 mil or so, right? Because we can't undercut him for 3 years because these 4 teams are going to be giving him 4 years, 10 point whatever, 6, 7. So what? We go 4 years, 11, 10.9. Do we really want to do that to a completely unknown entity? This guy who is a power forward, 62 points is his career high. He's been playing in Colorado, so he just dusted us, huh? He just dusted us in the first round this year. What did he do against us? We can't tell, but he did have 12 goals in 24 games. Crazy stuff. Good for you. Then there's Berkeley Catton, who's a playmaker, but $12 million for 7 years. That's all of our cap space left for the next 7 years. Nah, I've talked myself out of it, boys. I don't really want it. We could go TJ Ginla, somebody like that, again, but I don't know. I just like the team we have. I believe in this team we have. We've picked up some young kids in the draft and things like that. Some guys who might be able to come up and make a difference in this year. I'm not going to make any moves. I'm going to sign an NHL goalie coach here to 4 years, whatever he wants there. And then I'm also going to sign an NHL assistant coach. All right, looks like Alexei Kinnis is back on the team with his qualifying offer. One other guy, Clifford Riley's also back. I was just about to stop it and make sure that Clifford Riley was back, but now that he is, I can continue simulating to the next season. And I can just show you guys the lines because I'm not going to make any moves, boys. I like our team. I think we're poised to make a deep playoff run this year. I don't know why. I just have a feeling. Okay, this team is looking kind of nasty, I'm not going to lie. So the first line looks pretty crazy. Hoping that Matt Svensson can get back up to his, 90-point type season playing on his right side. Then William Eklund will be in the center and Elliot Patrick on the left. Elliot Patrick had 50 goals last year, so playing with Eklund and Svensson, 2 amazing playmakers. Hopefully these guys pass it a little more and Patrick becomes the finisher on this line, because then I think we're really in business. The second line now with Howard Quenneville, who got an X Factor. Brennan Meach is up to an 81 overall. He is a two-way forward, but he has 75 faceoffs. He can definitely play the center position if he has to. We're going to throw him there to start, but again, we can always make a move like, I don't know, maybe Quenneville up to the first line, Elliot Patrick down with Brennan Meach on the left, something like this fairly. Or we could also go, with Elliot Patrick up here, and then maybe Brennan Meach isn't quite doing it for us. We can go Dane Matheson and try that out, but Dane Matheson is going to start on our third line for now, and then Eric Dowd, of course, the stalwart. He knows the second line, a beautiful second liner, medium elite potential. Now I believe he was low elite to start it off. 5-star defense, 5-star senses, 5-star puck skills. This guy is a monster. 99 passing for him, playing with Quenneville. Hopefully that helps him. The third line looks fantastic. Dane Matheson and Wade Stanton. I'm hoping for big things because Wade Stanton just had like a 51-point season. Yeah, so hopefully he can help with the rookie in his first year. Dane Matheson, the left winger, well, center or left wing. We're going to play him at left wing. 76 faceoffs isn't amazing. He could definitely play center, but we're going to look to have him on the left with Wade Stanton on his right. Hopefully that will help them out. And then the fourth line, Colby Stoll, Wyatt Johnston, and Bomick. Bomick up to an 84 overall now, listed as a third line scoring forward. He has 5-star defense. He has 5-star physical. He even has 5-star puck skills. So we could also do something like this, throw Bomick up to the third line if we wanted to. We could put maybe Matheson struggling. We bring him down to the AHL. We go Wade Stanton, Rocky Bomick like this on the second line. There's a bunch of things that we can do, but we're going to start the season off like this. I do want to give Bomick some more time. We'll probably give him penalty kill time this year. First line penalty kill time, maybe to hopefully get his ice time up a little bit because we only roll 3 lines, so we want to get him in there. He'll also be playing power play time. Yeah, that's what the forwards look like. So now let's go to defense. And we've got Corbin Mills and Aiden Stempniak up to an... Aiden Stempniak is an 89 overall, boys. Corbin Mills at the start of last year was 88. Aiden Stempniak has grown to 89 because of his amazing production from last year. 65 points last year. They're on their offsides for some reason, so let's get them back to their right sides. There we go. And then Owen Power and Will Hoffman. These two guys, again, kicking it. They are doing great for us. And then Boris Nikulin's up to an 80 overall. How do his stats look? They still look kind of strange. He's not an offensive player at all, only defense. This guy cannot shoot the puck. He has no hands. He has barely even knows what's going on in the offensive side of the puck with his offensive awareness at 79, but super physical, super defensive. He's the type of guy you want in the playoffs, man, to have your back. So he'll be playing with Stefan Kreitzer. These two boys, they're just massive. 6'4", 6'3", 220 pounds each, basically. Just huge guys. Owen Power, 6'6". Will Hoffman, 6'3". Corbin Mills, 6'5". And then we don't have a single defenseman below 6'3". We are a huge blue line, rough and tough out there. In goal, we've got Yaroslav Askarov, who's on board for another 2 years at $8 million. And then we're going to go with Torsten Gunderson. He's only 76 overall at 24 years old, medium elite. We'd want to see that get up there a little bit more. Hopefully a year in the NHL can help him out. But again, if we have to, we can make a trade for a goalie. We can sign one in free agency, even if there's goalies still out there, maybe a 78 overall goalie, something like that. But this team is looking great. So let me know what you guys think of the lines. Do we throw Dane Matheson on the second line to start off the season? I'm not exactly sure. What does his fit look like? He fits pretty decently on the first line. Can we get a +5? We can get a +5 on the first line with Dane Matheson. So let's keep that in mind. If we want to go Quenneville, Patrick, Dowd, keep the second line of last year, and then go Matheson, Eklund, Svensson, we could do that. Or do we want to stack that first line and really try to dominate teams on their, matching up against our first line, which might be one of the best in the NHL. Probably not the best, but it's up there at the very least. And then look at the AHL even. We have some decisions to make because we do have Nico Tukio, who is a 79 overall, a low elite player. He's a playmaker, 89 passing, 89 offensive awareness, and even the defense, 87 defensive awareness, 87 stick checking. He's not a great skater because no prospects can skate in this game, but still a very good player. 79 overall, listed as a depth forward. We can even try him out. We can try Solomon Pyatt out, who's a sniper, 3-star shooting only, though. I'm not that high on Solomon Pyatt. I'm more high on Nico Tukio. Other than that, nothing else that I'd really want to try out. Dane Brookbank is a low elite grinder. Great puck skills, great hands, great passing, stuff like that. Good physical as well, but not the overall to boot with it. We have Jesus Elliott down here, medium elite player who's going to be getting some time. Maybe we try to push him up to, I don't know, the second line or something like that, but I'll look at all that stuff in my own time. And then on defense, Pavel Chubarov, the low elite player, defensive defenseman. I'd love to get him with maybe somebody who has a bit more chemistry on that first line, but I don't know if anybody does. It's not really looking like it, so we'll keep the lines how they are for now. And then in goal, we're going to go with Riley and Canzanello for our goalies down in the AHL. Hopefully, they get a bit of growth like that. Again, Alexei Kennis is here as well, who was drafted in the second round, 33rd overall, power forward with 3.5-star shooting. We'll give him a bit more time, probably put him up here on the second line or something like that. So those are what those lines look like. But let me know what you think about the NHL lines. Do we stick with this lineup? Do we make slight changes? Dane Matheson maybe in the third line, something like that. Or sorry, second line. Maybe Elliot Patrick down to the second line. Dane Matheson up to the first line. Maybe Brennan Meach comes to the third line. Dane Matheson to the second line. Again, let me know anything and everything, boys. But I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, give it a like, comment, and subscribe. We're trying to get to 200 subs. We're getting kind of close. We're getting a little bit close. Under 40 subs to go. So I know it's not a big mark, but it would mean a lot if you guys hit that sub button if you enjoy what you see. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. Peace out.